Good morning, Oakcrest, and welcome back to your daily morning show. I'm Chris Tatus, and as we've been telling you the last couple weeks, it's a new year, and we're helping become a new you. So we want to help you with those New Year's resolutions that you may be looking at. And while we have focused heavily on you personally, we also want to make sure that you're prepared for any of your furry friends that may need some resolution help as well. And we went straight to the source of all of our animal-related questions, and that's Miss Wendy Goldband. She's the volunteer program coordinator over at the Baltimore Humane Society, located in Owings Mills and Reisterstown, Maryland. Wendy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you
nice
for coming
to be
today.
here.
We always love having you by because you always have some great events coming up with the Baltimore Humane Society, and so many people love to help out animals. You know, I think it's a very strong thing for residents, especially, or seniors, especially our residents, because, that companionship is irreplaceable. So we're always glad to hear from you. And I can see already that you have plenty of things coming up at the Humane Society.
Always.
But we haven't seen you in a while. How's everything going at the Humane Society?
Everything's been great. Our adoption rate has increased significantly this past year, so we were happy to see those numbers. So everything's going well.
I think that's the primary focus for you guys is those adoption numbers. So it's good to know that you have people who care about the animals. So
yeah, I mean, ultimately our goal is to get all the animals into homes and have no more homeless pets. Being a no-kill shelter, sometimes it's wonderful, but it can also be frustrating because sometimes you'll see animals just sitting in the cages for a long period of time. So it's really nice when we start to see them move and get out and get into homes.
Well, real quick, before we move on, let's talk a little bit about the adoption process. I feel like there's so many times that we have you on the program talking about these animals and who's available and who's looking for a new home and all that stuff. But say someone is interested in adoption. We've never really talked about how that process goes about. So say I'm on your website, which is bemorehumane.org.
Right.
Say I'm on your website, I spot an animal that I like. What's the next step for me?
Okay, so you can do one of two things. If you're really serious about adopting a pet, right online on our website in the adoptions section is a link to an application. You can start to fill it out right then and there. You have it all filled out, you send it in electronically. It's just an electronic application. So you'll fill that out and send it in, and that is then already beginning your adoption process. The advantage to that is, especially if you're looking at a smaller dog, they tend to be the quickest ones to get adopted.
Right.
So there's a little competition sometimes for the small ones. So if you have already begun your application, hopefully that will put you in front of the line for that particular animal. And I advise people who are looking, especially for smaller type dogs or specific type breeds, to keep an eye on the website every single day. And the minute you see that dog, boom, start it off. The next thing is, you don't have to do that though, you can come in. And that is the first thing we actually suggest that you do and require that you do. You need to come in and meet the animal. Let's make sure it's a good fit. It may look like it is when you read about the profile or you see how cute the animal is, but until you come in and actually meet it, you don't know if you're going to have a rapport.
Right.
It may turn out the animal down the line is the one that was, down in the kennels, is the one that you actually are a better match for, but you didn't realize it by looking at a picture.
I'm sure there's so many people out there also that, and it's unfortunate, because we've kind of discussed this before when we've had you on the program, there's so many people that just immediately write off older animals or, mid-sized breeds if they're looking for something small and compact. I mean, you can get, I'm not saying a large dog, I'm not saying you get a retriever, you get like a husky or something like that, but you can get a mid-sized dog and still have it very happy in an apartment, especially older ones.
No question. You can even have a older dog in your apartment. It doesn't need that much exercise anymore. They're sleeping a lot. They don't
Sounds
have
like
that
my
energy.
day, so you're good.
But yeah, I mean, by all means, especially a senior pet, I hate to see them get overlooked just because of their age. They deserve a wonderful life for the rest of their lives. And they typically are calm or calmer than what you'll find in a younger animal, even a younger, smaller animal. So they're calm, they are usually well trained, they're usually housebroken already, so they're coming much more ready-made than a younger, even smaller younger animal would. So I really encourage people to look at those animals. They're usually like the jewels.
Right, exactly.
And
the ones
they're being
that you wouldn't
overlooked.
Expect.
Yeah.
So we've gotten to the point where we've found an animal that we like, whether or not it be at the kennel or online.
Right.
So we have an application that we filled out.
Right, online, if you filled it out online. But either way, you need to come and visit us and meet the animal. So you'll get to meet the animal. If you decide, yes, this is a go, I really want to make this my best friend for life, then you'll speak to an adoption counselor. You'll finish up the rest of the application, because until you've actually selected a specific animal, we don't finish the adoption processing.
Okay.
So once you've selected the animal, then we can get right to the processing of the application. We'll ask for things like if you're renting, who your landlord is, and if they have any breed restrictions, things of that nature. And we'll ask for a couple of references just to make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Right.
We're not trying to be nosy, we're not trying to be invasive, but we also feel it's our responsibility to be protective of these animals. They've come usually from maybe not such great situations, which is why they're with us. We don't want to see that happen again. So we try and vet our potential adopters to make sure these animals are going to good homes. Within 3 days, if you've given us all the information right away, you'll get your approval.
Right.
And then you come in and you
pick up
take
your friend.
your cat, your dog, your rabbit, your gerbil, your guinea pig, whatever it might be, and you take them home with you, and that's that. When you take the animal home, you are taking home an animal that has been fully taken care of and ready to go. So what that means is that it will have been spayed or neutered. It will have all its vaccinations up to date, and it will be microchipped.
Okay.
So you're like, that animal is ready to go right now. I still advise maybe you want to take it over to your vet and have sort of a baseline check and introduce him, but you're good to go.
Right.
So your adoption fee includes all of that. And the adoption fees are often waived or very discounted.
Right. I know for a fact that, I mean, we've talked before, we were just mentioning a minute ago about the senior pets. But I know, if I remember properly, you guys also have a discount for senior citizens as well.
Yes, we do. I'm embarrassed. I can't remember the
You got a lot of numbers
percentage
to remember.
off.
I don't think anybody
But
blames you.
if you're age 65 and up, you get a discount for any animal. If it's a cat, no matter what your age, if it's a senior cat, that means age 7 we use as our senior mark off. So age 7 for a cat is $25.
Wow.
Now this month, anyway, we have a cat special, and all cats are $25.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear, because, I know that, I feel like a lot of people, when they look at like the Humane Society, I think they're usually more looking for the dog. I hate to say it, but man's best friend isn't just a moniker. It's the truth.
That's what they think of first, but there are
Exactly.
plenty of cat people.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. So it's good to hear that, you're taking care of our feline friends as well.
Oh yeah. And like I said, we have at the shelter, we have dogs, we have cats. We also have small furry animals, no reptiles. We've got rabbits and guinea pigs, gerbils, hamsters. We even had rats and mice, because once they've been domesticated, if somebody has had them, we've got to find new homes for them.
Right.
So,
You can't really release them back into the wild. No.
No.
No. Plus, some people may be upset about that. So.
Yes. Yes. So, maybe you want a smaller animal as a pet. Maybe you'd like to have a little hamster. Come visit us. Look on our website, see if we have any right now. Because every single day it changes. Every day. And we
definitely.
keep our website up to date on a daily basis. You'll
Good to
always
hear.
know who's available.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
If you had your eye on somebody,
Uh-huh.
you really thought you wanted that animal and you hesitated, you go back on the website, you don't see it, that means it's been adopted.
Okay. So it's unfortunate, but it's also, it's bad news, but it's good news. It's bad news because, unfortunately, you didn't get the pet you wanted, but it's good news because a pet has found their forever home, and you have the opportunity to find a different friend and take somebody else home. So real quick, you were talking about discounts, and the one thing I wanted to talk about was this new program that you were mentioning before, which is this Pets for Patriots program that we were talking about. Tell us a little bit more about what this entails.
I'm really, really excited about this program. We have partnered with an organization called Pets for Patriots. They're a wonderful organization. And what this means is, as a partner now, anybody from the military, whether it's active or inactive, so that includes all veterans,
Okay.
you can come and adopt an animal for free.
Wow.
and that animal will get discounted lifetime veterinary care. So to get more specific about it, what you do is you go on the petsforpatriots.org website and you just apply. It's a really easy process. I think all they're looking for is to see that you were you're in good standing,
right,
which is not a big deal. So within 2 days tops, they say you're approved. Go ahead, and I think they give you a some sort of a certificate or number or something like that that you take to us, and so we'll know that you're part of the program. Very easy. Yeah. You come to us. You take a look at the animals. Now, the key here for Pets for Patriots, which is what I really like, is that they make it so that you adopt harder to adopt animals. Now, in our case, honestly, that's probably about 3/4 of all our animals, right, because the cutoffs are really very large. It has to be 2 years and up. So that encompasses most animals that we have, honestly. Just can't be a puppy. Right. So if the animal is 2 years old and up, it can be cats, dogs, doesn't matter. It also can be an animal that has special needs. So in that case, if it's a 1-year-old and is a special needs pet, that's fine.
That's okay.
It also can be 40 pounds or heavier.
Okay.
So you've kind of encompassed just about.
So as long as it fits any one of those criteria, 2 years or older, over 40 pounds, or how did you refer to it?
Disabled,
right,
special needs.
Special needs, there you go.
Yeah, it might be deaf. We sometimes get deaf animals. We sometimes get, very rarely, but on occasion, maybe a blind or a dog or cat, or maybe one with a missing leg or a bad leg, or you know, things happen. So or maybe they have some sort of chronic illness.
Right. So it's just, if they fit any of those three categories. Yeah. I mean, for any veteran or for any military member, active or inactive, you have the ability to adopt for free. And that's fantastic to hear.
And it's pretty much any animal, pretty much, you know. And so, and you know, the idea of this is the companionship factor is so important. The emotional factor is so important for the vets and active military and their families, and also for the animals. So it's just a beautiful match. Now, once you've adopted the animal, then you're entitled to discounted veterinary care for the life of the pet, which is terrific.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a low-cost veterinary wellness center, which I actually need to remind people of. If you're having trouble meeting medical bills, especially veterinary medical bills, you can come to us, and we will take care of your animal at discounted rates for wellness care. Okay. That means flea and tick preventatives you can buy from us, nail trimming, vaccinations, spay, neuter, all the basics that you need on a yearly basis. Right. Not sick care. If the animal is sick, then we'll refer you to a full-service vet. Right. So anyway, back to Pets for Patriots. So we will give 10% off our already discounted rates. Perry Hall Animal Hospital, right around the corner from here, is giving 20% off of their rates for the life of the pet. Yeah. And also Essex Middle River Veterinary Hospital is giving 10% off. So you've got great options, and it's a fabulous program.
Now, just to clarify, I want to make sure that I got this straight. The Pets for Patriots program, this only applies to newly adopted pets. So hypothetically, if we have a resident who is a veteran now, unfortunately, that discounted rate
it's not retroactive. Okay, all right. You can't say, hey, I adopted this animal from you 2 years ago. I want my money back. No. Now, there are also some other perks. It's free, by the way, to join the program. You know, to sign up with Pets for Patriots is free. But you also get a bunch of goodies. I think it's worth $150 or so from Pets for Patriots. Different
to kind of get things started once you pick that pet up.
Like gift certificates to pet stores, you know, major pet stores, things like that. So it's a fabulous program.
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear. You know, I mean, we have a lot of residents here who are veterans, so this program could be perfect for them if they are looking for somebody. You know, it's unfortunate again, but you know, a lot of our residents have lost spouses, have lost family members, and that companionship that comes with adopting an animal could be just what they need to kind of keep them on track and keep everything going well. So
that's right. And we have lots of cats, and I think for seniors, cats are especially good options. And for this program, which is so nice, it's wonderful to have that free adoption. But that's just a one-time hit. it's that regular medical care, veterinary care, that where your costs start to build up. So to have that discounted is really huge.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I know a lot of people in my life, not even residents, but I know people that have had, you know, pets with chronic illnesses, and knowing that that service is available and saving you money is
20% is nice.
It's definitely can be and some extra pocket change. Let's put it that way. So so it's good to know. Now we've adopted a pet. We've got them. They're home, and we've had them for years. Let's go with that. You know, like I was saying in the intro, so many people kind of focus on their own personal resolutions in a new year that I think sometimes we may forget about our best friends as well. So what I wanted to talk to you about is, I know, you know, weight loss is a big thing for everyone. Me personally, I need to hit the gym soon. I'll be heading over to the fitness center sometime in the next few weeks. But, you know, say...
Few weeks.
Okay, all right.
Few hours.
Get off my back, Lee. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, we've talked before about the cat program that you guys had, I believe, last year, where you guys had them on a weight...
Our Fat Cat Fitness Camp.
That's what it was, okay. How did that end up going last year?
Very well, actually.
Good.
The cats did lose weight.
Oh,
they really did. It took a while, but they did it. It was really funny because I had all this wonderful fitness equipment, so to speak, for the cats that we had donated to us. And most of the equipment just sat there. They didn't want anything to do with it. The only thing that got them moving was this food pellet gun. So you'd shoot a pellet of food, and they'd go chase it. It's like, okay, food is their motivator, but at least it got them to move for it. So that was the start.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, you're not doing that program again this year.
Well, no. I mean, we're always working on the weight loss, but I'm not doing that special promotional program.
Right, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, when you were doing that program last year, did you see, besides the food pellet, you know, I mean, we saw like a big motivator there. Is that how it kind of goes with dogs too? Or do you think dogs have a little bit different motivator?
Well, dogs love food too.
That's
oh my
true.
gosh. Food is a very big motivator for dogs. Did you ever eat next to a dog?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, they're practically in your lap.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, food is a motivator, but I would not make that the motivator for a dog.
Okay.
Dogs are also very motivated by play and exercise and hunting and, you know, and running. So dogs are really much easier than cats, which is why we focused on the cats to try and give ideas. For dogs, I mean, just go out and take a walk.
Right.
You know, but make it a regular walk and not 5 minutes. That's not a walk. So if you're trying to lose weight, you can have a weight loss buddy, and that's your dog. You know, just think of it like that. You're working together as a team. Go out and walk for a half hour, not 10 minutes, not 5 minutes. Make it a good walk. If it's slow, it's slow. It's still out there. You're still moving. So that's really important. Try and do it twice a day. Maybe one in the late morning when it's warming up. Maybe one toward the end of the day. Especially in the summer, it makes it a lot easier. You can take an evening walk. So that's simple. Play with the dog, throw a ball back and forth, or a frisbee, or, you know, something of that nature. Or maybe, I know my dog is a silly guy, and he just loves for me to chase him around the furniture. So if you can picture that one.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just doing the laps, right?
Yeah, you know, you play with their toy, and, you know, a little tug of war, and then throw it a little and chase them. They love it. They love it. So that's fun, easy for the dogs. Cats can exercise. Now, some cats will put a collar and leash on. I have a neighbor who walks her cat like a dog every day. She's walking all around the neighborhood with this cat. And she even puts it out front on a tie-out.
Really?
It's sitting out there on the porch, and when we walk by with the dog, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, so that is possible with many cats. Yeah. But if not, and your cat is just inside and hanging out, there are still plenty of things you can do. Get a laser toy. You shoot there's like a laser pointer, and the cat chases the laser light. There's ticklers that you can get. There's, like I said, these pellet guns. We even had some sort of like a stimulatory feeding mechanism. It's just tubes at different sizes, heights, and the cat naturally would forage for food. So this simulates that.
Oh, okay.
So you put the food in the different size canisters that are in there, and the cat forages for it. You can make your own out of toilet paper and paper towel rolls if you wanted.
The one question I had, which I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that, even something like one of those cat trees.
Yes, I was just going to mention that.
Yeah,
Yep.
it gives them, a lot of cats like the perching and kind of having that high up space,
That's
but even
right.
that climbing on a daily basis.
And we have cat communal rooms, and what we call them cat pillows, but they're basically like little bookshelves almost, stuck on the wall at a few different heights, and the cats jump up and travel around the room up there. They love it, and all this is encouraging movement. Let them have a nice window where they can look out and climb up to. Play with them. It's, cats like to be played with. Stroke them, play with them. Encourage them with their little toys, little jingle balls. There's plenty of things you can do with cats as well. Okay. So don't feel like, well, it's a cat, there's nothing to do.
Right.
There is.
Right.
There really is.
So exercise is one thing that we, as humans always hear about. Diet is another one that's really important. Is there any kind of guidelines I know size and breed could probably play a big part in this, especially when it comes to dogs, activity level, but is there any kind of good ideas that we can follow for amount of food or frequency of meals?
Well, the amount of food, I would suggest that you talk to your vet about, and also just read the packaging of the pet food that you're getting, because it will suggest amounts for sizes of animals. But talk to your vet if you're not clear.
Right.
How much should I be feeding? And then, I know sometimes many of us are guilty of this. We just pour the food in and we eyeball it. Don't do that. Get a measuring cup, an 8-ounce cup, and measure the food so you really know how much you're giving and you're not estimating, because you might be going a little overboard or maybe not enough.
Right.
So you want to make sure you're giving the right amount. So that's what I would suggest for feeding.
Good.
And then treats are another area where many of us fall down in, both human
sure.
and pet-wise. Your pet's sitting there looking at you with those longing eyes, and oh my God, okay, here's a little piece. I'm very guilty of that, I know.
Sure.
So be careful of that, because that's where some of those extra pounds can add up.
Right.
What you can do instead is give them treats like carrots and apples. Believe it or not, most dogs will eat those.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Cats
are another question, though.
Right. So make sure you're getting healthy treats. Know how much you're giving.
Right.
Control your quantities. Be aware of that. I think that many of us fall into that trap because they look so sad. But remember this. First of all, they're very food driven, and they'll eat till they explode.
Right.
Because that's just their instinct.
Oh, yeah.
But pounds on animals is really not a laughing matter.
Right.
People think it's funny. Oh, look how heavy he is. Oh, ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Look at that. Look at that fat cat. Well, you know what? It's really not funny. It's really almost a form of abuse to allow an animal to get so big and overweight because it's not healthy for them. It's like feeding a person and saying, I'm going to get you big and fat. That's not healthy.
Right.
They get all the same health issues that we get. And on I think it's 5 pounds, 1 pound on a dog is equivalent to about 5 pounds to a human. Wow. So just consider that. I may be a little off with my numbers, but it's from 3 to 5 pounds.
Right.
So if your cat or dog has gained 3-4 pounds over what their ideal weight is, multiply that times 3 or times 5. That's a lot of weight.
Right.
If you were to suddenly gain 15-20 pounds, that's not good.
Right.
It's the same for the animals.
Well, I'm almost thinking of also from a perspective, you talked about how they have a lot of the same health concerns we would have. I think about the kind of pressure you put on your knees and things like that, getting in and out of bed. Imagine if you're not just like sliding out of the bed, you have to jump what is, 2-3 feet down every time. That added weight is going to put pressure and strain on those joints.
That's
right. And
right.
that could be dangerous to them as well.
Oh, no question. It gives them, they get arthritis, they have all kinds of knee issues. It's just as bad for the animals as it is for us, and they can get all the same side effects and symptoms that humans do.
So definitely if your pet is overweight or maybe needs to lose a couple pounds, it's probably something you should definitely take into consideration.
Yes, and exercise. I mean, we always look at diet, but if you don't move, it's not enough.
Right.
Movement is where that weight's going to come off from, rather than, cutting down a little bit in the food. One thing I do want to strongly advise people, though, who have cats. If you are putting your cat on a diet, you must be careful. Cats cannot lose weight quickly. It has to be a slow process. You can actually kill your cat if it loses weight too fast.
Yeah.
So talk to your vet about how to do it and what to expect.
Okay, excellent. Now, one last resolution that I think a lot of our humans are used to is being more charitable. And we know that you guys are a not-for-profit organization, just like Oakcrest is. And so you guys are always working to try and raise some money to kind of help keep the Humane Society running smoothly.
Right.
So we've got a couple things here that I kind of wanted to talk about as well. First of which, you mentioned an event that you guys have coming up in March. Your Black Tie and Tails event is what I believe it was called.
Yes, it's our Black Tie and Tails Gala on Saturday, March 29th. It is going to be at the Grand Lodge in Hunt Valley.
Okay.
So what makes this event special?
Okay.
Well, first of all, you are invited to bring your dogs to Black Tie and Tails.
Wonderful.
So what we see are a lot of people coming all dressed up in their fancy clothes, along with their dogs in tuxedos and gowns.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so it's really funny. And it's a sit-down dinner with an open bar. We've got a live band and dancing. So you see people out there dancing with their dogs all night. It's really hysterical.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And, we also have a silent auction, and we have honorees. So our special honoree and keynote speaker this year will be Linda Blair of the movie The Exorcist.
Yeah.
If you remember her. She also has a national animal welfare organization.
Oh, wow.
So the Linda Blair World Heart Organization. So we're honoring her. And we also have a local honoree, and that is Lynn Molnar, who is the founder of Thankful Paws Mobile Food Bank. It's the only mobile pet food bank in Maryland.
Okay.
So those are our two honorees. And the host of the evening will be Jamie Costello from
Wonderful.
WMAR.
That's great to hear. We're good friends. Jamie's been by a couple times. He was here for our telethon back in December, so he's a fantastic host, and that sounds like a wonderful event. Now, if people are interested in attending that event, how can they find out more information?
Well, they can always go on our website to bemorehumane.org, and we spell that B-M-O-R-E, humane.org, and just look for the Black Tie and Tails link under our events section. And the other thing they can do is, and they can buy their tickets right online. If you prefer to buy your tickets and not do it online, just give us a call, 410-833-8848.
What's that number one more time?
410-833-8848.
Wonderful.
And then ask for extension 212.
Okay.
And just say you'd like to buy tickets or get information on it.
And if you want any of this information pertaining to these events, or if you're just looking for the information for the Baltimore Humane Society, you can always stop down here at the TV studio. We'll be happy to point you in the right direction and get you started with that. Now, real quick, I want to touch on, you mentioned the lady who's being honored for the mobile food bank.
Right.
Now, we were talking before the show. I think a lot of people, here at Oakcrest, we do a biannual food drive to benefit the Parkville Pantry to kind of help people out. Our Lions Club does that. But I don't think a lot of people realize that, when you have a home that is struggling financially, pets are affected just as hard as the people are. And a lot of times, I don't want to say that every person doesn't always think directly of their animal, but it might not be, when it comes down to you, your kids, or your pet, sometimes the pet might be the one coming in third place.
I mean, we see animals come in to us for a variety of reasons. There are owner relinquishments, but unfortunately, sometimes people lose their homes, or they just can't afford to take care of the pet anymore, and it's heartbreaking. So one of the ways to help them keep their animals is to help them feed them if they're in a bad place economically. Thankful Paws started, I think it was about 2 years or so ago. Lynn Molnar set this up. It's fabulous. It's a pet food bank because we don't want to separate the pets from the owners. I mean, they're having a hard enough time. What a horrible emotional time that is to also have to give up your pet.
Right.
It's really heartbreaking. So this is a way of helping them. And when you're giving food for the humans, think about leaving some pet food also at these places. But in particular, we're holding a pet food drive for the next 2 weeks through January 26th. And it is anybody who can bring food for Thankful Paws Mobile Food Bank to our location. We have a spot where people can leave it. We're looking for canned cat food in particular, but any cat food, any kind of dog food, even some leashes and flea and tick preventatives, anything that somebody might need. The people that they're helping are seniors, veterans, and the homeless.
Okay.
So what's especially wonderful is that they are a mobile food bank. A lot of people like this don't have transportation, so they bring it to them.
Okay.
It's a terrific service. After the 26th, we're going to remain a permanent drop-off location.
But we're just doing a big push right now.
This is sort of our inaugural event to let people know that we've got this drop-off location.
And if any of our residents do have something they'd like to donate for this food drive, you can always drop it here at the TV studio if you're not able to make it down
and we'll
to the
get
Humane
it.
Society. And we'll make sure that we do get it over to them at your offices over in Reisterstown.
Yes.
So we'll be sure to get that to you as well.
And I will say also, we also need food donations to help us out too. So take your choice.
Right, exactly. So that's wonderful. And the last thing I kind of want to touch on here is you have two things that I believe are to benefit the Humane Society. Yes. First is these wonderful cards. I guess they're kind of
no
like
cards.
No cards. Okay.
They're a set of 6. Each one is a different picture. We had an artist who actually painted Clinton playing the saxophone and is in the Clinton library now. He headed up a group of 7th graders from Temple Emmanuel who came up with their pictures for a mural of happy ending at a kennel. And the idea was it's a happy place because they find loving homes. So they took the pictures, they transferred them up onto our dog kennel, and the community and the kids all came and helped paint it. So these are little pieces of the mural on the note cards.
And you can see it right there on the screen. So this drawing that we actually have here, this was done by a 7-year-old.
No, 7th grader.
7th grader, sorry. There you go.
12 and 13-year-olds.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, we're talking about young kids talking about, it's great to get them involved, and it teaches them, how important the Humane Society is as well. So these are available for purchase.
Yes, it's $10 for a set of 6. We'll mail them out to you. Just give us a call and say you'd like them. It's a terrific way to show people that you support us, that you support the care of animals and no-kill shelters, and also that, remind people we exist.
Exactly.
So, and it's lovely. What a nice little note card to be able to send out to somebody.
And for those of us that might be concerned, I know I might have been, they do come with envelopes as well.
Yes, they come with envelopes. They're packaged together. So
that's good to hear. And the other thing that we want to touch on is also this wonderful 2014 calendar that's put out by the Baltimore Humane Society as well. You've got 12 wonderful animals, all of whom are these, I assume these aren't available still. They
are our happy, that's why we call it our Happy Tales calendar. It is the tales of happy endings.
We've got some wonderful pictures in here.
Each one of these animals were with us and were eventually adopted. There's Diamond. She was one of my very favorites, the first one. And this is Willow. So you've got a little bit about their story next to them. And it's a lovely calendar and pretty pictures. We normally sell it for $15, but now that the new year started, it's on sale for $10. People only have to just give us a call or shoot us an email. We'll get it over to you.
Wonderful. Well, Wendy, thank you so much for coming by today. It's always great to hear about the wonderful things that are going on at the Baltimore Humane Society. Besides you guys saving pets, it's great to hear that you guys are doing such great outreach in the community here in Baltimore County as well. So thank you very much for coming by today. If you missed any part of our program today, we've been talking with Wendy Goldband, the volunteer program coordinator over at the Baltimore Humane Society. We've talked about so much stuff here today about ways that you can help out, not to mention not how you can help out the Baltimore Humane Society, but also we've been talking about how you can help maybe with your pet's New Year's resolutions as well.